Hello. I'm Kevin, and hard to believe, one entire decade since I had an account on YouTube. 10 years for sure. It's been a very long time I have been on YouTube before I had an account. I watched YouTube videos since 2006, and look at me now on YouTube since 2008. So the entire 10 years has been quite a journey, such as a lot of old videos I can't remember within the 4 years of those 10 years I was in the UK. Somewhat struggling not knowing what to do with my mood and content, had some many merges, but either way, I made it. I am now 24 years old, as far as you know, and I got to celebrate the 10 years anniversary for it. So I'm pretty much going to talk about a brief history from 2008 to 2018 of what I did in the past. And I explain it 11 times to get to where I am at. So let's begin. Starting from 2008 to the creation of the YouTube account to 2009, I did make videos on a Windows XP computer. I started out on a YouTube poop called YouTube Poop An Explosive Mine. The plot of that was where Samus goes to the CDI world and eliminates all of the CDI characters because of the corrupted Philips CDI. There was a sequel with the Mario World cartoon by Deke. My very first gameplay video was 3D Pinball Space Cadet, and I wanted to post it onto GameSpot, which wasn't the best score, but it got like 2,000 views on that site on that year. Another part of 2008 I also did before creating a YouTube account was I did do a lot of Star Wars Battlefront 2 glitches in places like Space Tatooine, heck, even Out of Bounds Jabba's Palace. It was a great time and I was on servers a lot. And then shortly after, on December 23rd, my YouTube account was created called 255 Utah, knowing me as a Kirby at the time. 2009 was the dawn of my YouTube experience. The first half of 2009 did not have very many YouTube videos when I was working on them. Part of it was me still being in school at the time, but there were mixed feelings too. In the beginning, I did do some YouTube posts as if I were to say, error, rushed out. So that wasn't the best experience. However, once May of 2009 arrived, I created my second account called Oscar Unmindful, and is considered the longest name that was never changed completely. The account was for my pets like my cat Oscar. I made like several videos on the channel. There were videos like Oscar's drinking problem, Oscar's first snow, and Oscar's laundry day. That account was very successful at first. At first it was used as a family account, but then shortly later after that, I maintained it as a personal account, but keeping my pets' memories as an archive. For part 2 of 2009, when I got to October of 2009, I started to do commentary videos. It was also the same time I got back into Latias and Latios for my interests for good. I worked on a gameplay on a game called Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, and I did do commentaries on a pretty not so good camera called the Flip Ultra First Generation. I also made some vlogs too, like the GameCube and Wii collection, my DS collection, and then my 1-year anniversary Christmas lights. I was actually pretty good making videos at the time without much burnout at the time. That was also the year I got into Pokemon Platinum 2. Now, for 2010, this year was good and bad. In the beginning, I did still make videos on our 255 Metry fan after I did Episode 1 Racer. I made another vlog called I Got a Poke Guide, and I showed a Pokédex, which I still have as of 2018. This was the second best year for custom colors on YouTube. I also did more videos like Metroid Prime as a Let's Play on hard mode, and the very weirdest part was it was May of 2010. I did vlogs of my Pokemon plushies instead of facelift vlogs, and honestly, as I got old, I had no idea why I did it in the first place, regardless of criticism. As for the midpoint of 2010, things were not the best experience. However, I did make videos like the Pioneer Day fireworks, where I showed myself some fireworks off of a soccer field. Only lasted for 10 minutes though, and then I said, "Epic sauce!" and it stuck with me on the fireworks. Now from August, I made 2 more videos called the Vivitar DVR508 test and the Airplane vlog, mainly because as of August 16, 2010, I went to the UK for 4 years, because we had possible struggles at the time and we needed to move at that time. Once I got into the UK, the experience at the first was pretty exciting, as I went to my very second country in the world, and I explored a lot too. I did more 255 Metro fan videos along the way and did more Let's Plays and vlogs. However, the first day I went to England, my E-Machine's PC got fried, and within a month, I had to use a Windows XP computer, which was insanely slow. Rendering videos was extremely problematic, and I really hated using that OS. October was the year I got a new PC with Windows 7. Still a low end, but it was better than the unusable XP machine. 6 days after, I made my very first Minecraft video, which was the Minecraft Latios pixel art, mainly because I was the first person at the time to make that video. In December, I made the Christmas Extravaganza vlog and the 2-year anniversary video, which I barely remember what the video contents were about. 2011. 2011 was the beginning of my capture card part, where I start to record video games with a capture card, starting with a Climax Digital VCap 301. It was okay, but it broke afterwards, and later I got an EasyCap DC60, not to be confused with the Plus version. It was the year I started to make 1080p monitor videos, which I made videos with a resolution pack on my computer. This was also the year our 255 Metroid fan had to reach to 500 subscribers. The reason was I wanted to be a partner at one point, which was at YouTube's minimum requirements. Unfortunately, I did not approve this later on because I didn't feel happy about the way I proceeded this. I also did some more game playthroughs of Minecraft, did a collab of a friend over a collab channel called the Nintendo Crossing, which I used to own a server too, especially had a deleted world which had like a cool underground 7-Eleven, possibly a future content response video. Midpoint as of 2011, I did a Let's Play called Cave Story, which got some nice views. It was also considered to be my favorite indie game of all time, regardless if it's a Metroidvania or not. I also played an open source game called Enigma, but I didn't appreciate the Let's Play very much. At the point of September 26, 2011, I created Flaming Echoes. Mainly because I was a bit anxious over what happened on a 255 Metroid, which I won't get into at all. But I wanted to switch to keep my mood stable. This wasn't easy. What also wasn't easy was I accidentally closed our 255 Metroid on the same day because of the anxiety. In October, I started to do 3D intros regardless if it's Metroid, Pokemon. I did allow requests at the time, and I first managed to make a lot of intros and render them while keeping in contact with everyone I know. I don't know how, but I managed to do it with my low-end PC. Later on, it did stress me out, and it took me a while until I retired completely. Though I still have intros up, and I sometimes make 3D intros still, but I no longer accept requests permanently. 2012. At the very beginning, I was going to do a 365 days of GFX. Why I didn't do that was that it was too difficult getting the graphics in, and other things got in the way. But instead, I still worked on intros, and I also started to work on 1080p intros on a low-end PC. Fortunately, the bitrate is still low, but intros were still being worked on. Around March, Cosmic Panda got released and I was working more on intros, but I was experimenting on other devices to get things done for my YouTube live. I made some Speedpaints on some old pics, but most of the videos were deleted or hidden through YouTube's servers, fortunately. In April, I had a bit of a living struggle, so it was pretty difficult to make videos at the time. I also made a vlog where I was and lived in a small city. I also did some unused artworks at the time, but I was listening to some music alongside of intros since I was getting more 1080p intros done. Around midpoint 2012, I moved homes again, but I lived in a much smaller house. However, it has more room. I was in a bit of a crisis on the videos I wanted to make, so I was pretty much in a very unhappy mood. 2012 was considered to be the major mood issue for me since this decade. Beyond note, when it got to September of 2012, that's when making various intros almost died off. But this particular month, I did start to experiment on how to record HD games through certain games and such, even if my PC was low end. As it got to November to December of 2012, that was considered to be the time Flaming Echoes was phasing out, and I didn't want it to be on YouTube at the time, so I went directly to DrawingEnah and see what that community is up to. So my YouTube event was pretty much on hiatus. As of Christmas of 2012, I made some videos like a webcam of my cat Peanut, and me also at the same time. Made an outdoor vlog for a Christmas event in the UK. Now, for 2013, the halfway point. 2013 was the year I did some tutorials like VSDC Video Editor and the Omen Minecraft tutorial. If you don't know what that is, it was the only way to convert 3D models into voxels to Minecraft before KB62 schematic existed. Once April was a thing, I pretty much was mostly offline for a few months, and no reasons will be given. But once I came back in July, I did work on some more Minecraft videos. However, I did try a screen recorder called Morose Action, and in fact, it was the best screen recorder, which it still is #1 next to Bandicam. So I did some gameplay videos tests like Skymatter and a comparison of two particular programs. Once I got to October and November, I was mostly focusing on artwork, getting enough of that done, but my art style needed improvement at that time, and in order to improve, I needed some tips before I learned that on my own. 2013 was somewhat better than 2012, but it was considered to be the last Christmas before I went back to the US in December of 2014. Speaking of 2014, this year was interesting on some levels. This year was the year I have tried to play a fan game called AM2R, which I have been focusing on its updates for a couple of years, regardless of the takedown. Doesn't matter though. It was considered to be my most favorite fan game of all time, and I cannot recommend it enough. If you can find the original download link somewhere. Also, 2014 was the year VP9 was released, which VP9 is Google's own codec to compete with H.265. I was testing to make videos as VP9, which the bit rates I used wasn't as great compared to Google's VP9 bitrate on YouTube. However, my Speedpaints and gaming videos were using this codec in order to save space. As of the other half of 2014, I did remake some videos like the Everville video, but I was still drawing more but needed help at that point. When I got to October though, not only my issues was a struggle, but also my internet was a bit of a struggle too, mainly because I was limited before I went back to the US. I was very unstable at the time and I couldn't think of many videos as I used to once I got to December of 2014. When it got to the 4th of December, that was the day I left the UK and returned back to Utah, which was very successful on this day. However, it was the start to getting back to where I was, so it took a while before I made some more videos again. Also, however, on December 23rd, I turned 2 decades at the time, yes, 20 years, and I did make videos on that day, but the 6-year anniversary was more of a short video rather than an anniversary. Now we are at 2015. At the beginning, the only videos I could think of being made was a gameplay video for a particular channel. Unfortunately, the beginning of my upload access was somewhat limited, mainly because I lived in someone else's place, and the speed was only 7 megabits up. Very slow, I know. However, it was the start of the month where I got the actual help I needed on my mental life and getting back on track on making content. It wasn't easy to say the least. After a few months, I was making videos for my Nifty Galaxy channel, and I didn't make tutorial videos for a certain channel. Even then, I didn't like the way how I made them, and I felt it wasn't important to actually do them. The second half of 2015, this was the month I actually got to live at my family's own home after a period we didn't live at someone's place. And even until now, 2018, it's still a lot easier than before. Around the fourth quarter of 2015, I made some Metroid Prime 2 gaming videos, but in HD, which was really cool to experience. Especially I was experimenting 60 FPS games for the first time. The last quarter of 2015 was the year I made the Christmas GX, formerly EX, where I expressed my birthday and Christmas stuff. I recorded some vlogs at places where I went to, like a hotel and Christmas lights. I usually did this from 2014 to ongoing 2018. Now here we're going futuristic because 2016 was the year there were more artwork I did at the beginning. It was considered to be good in the beginning. I worked on a Minecraft world with an upgraded PC. It was also the year I did some voxel art at the same time. As I did do a lot of good things, however, 2016 was kind of a scary year for me, mainly because a couple of things made my mood unhappy, and it was worse when it got to November. I did do more character rests, and there are a lot of videos for another gameplay video on one of my other channels. What else I did was I worked on some more graphics and layouts alongside my channel and accounts. I got a new camera called the Kodak ZI-8, which did well at the time for a really cheap price. However, I did a couple of ref pics too. Even then, I made some Christmas vlogs and made more speed paints while I made some progress. But if there was a year better than 2016, Well, you are 1 year closer now. 2017. 1 year closer till the 10-year anniversary. 2017 was considered to be the best year for me. I had a lot of artworks and gameplay videos were done at the time. I also started to make 4K videos too for experimental reasons before I upgraded my gear. Plus, in May of 2017, I actually got a digital camera to take some high-res photos. It's a Nikon and it has optical zoom. It really takes good photos as long as you know how to take mass photos for best results. Also, I somewhat did a bit of intros in 4K as I experiment them in 4K. Also, my moods were very, very good as I made a lot of most progress too, especially with Speedpaints, voxel arts, vlogs, Minecraft worlds, etc. So let's talk about the final year. 2018, the year this video is on. So as for my 10-year anniversary, which was December 23rd, 2018, this year I have finished a lot of videos like 2017. I did get more arts done, especially I sketched way more often to prevent any art block issues. Once it was April 14, it was the start of my 10-year anniversary for my entire internet accounts. I made a lot of scripts, and this was the year I got the Moto G5 Plus, the camera I used to record in 4K, and it was a great year for the most part, regardless if there was things in the way. Also, the last thing, this year was the start of my content response series, where I added these poses as I did in the video, making those videos take a bit of time in order to make the editing poses look good. Knowing me, I know how to make graphics in GIMP and know how to edit in HitFilm. And now it's December 23rd, and it was totally a journey to go through. It was very fun making a lot of content, especially with the Pokemon characters. Met a lot of people, and I did get new interests in music and other fictional characters thanks to the net. So that's pretty much it for the 10-year anniversary. And guess what? There is a Christmas light video I will throw in here of the VTube remake of my 1-year anniversary, but instead in my current place. I thank everyone for getting me this far, and now I should enjoy my birthday and the rest of the holiday. So happy holidays and a happy new year!